everyone. It's Christine Gritman. This time it's going to work. I promise. Okay, so I'm here live with Amy Stong. Not Amy, Jesus, Jessica Stong.
I'll answer to anything.
We've been talking about Amy Porterfield, the Entrepreneur Experience Conference that we both attended last week in San Diego. We talked about some stuff. I don't want to reiterate all of it because we already did it on another broadcast, but this is probably going to kind of stand alone. So we're going to start by saying that the Amy Porterfield Entrepreneur Experience Conference, combination of mindset work about the ways we keep ourselves small and the way we should be playing a bigger game, the way we need to show up to do that, tactical work, so things like how to actually do this, how to actually make things happen in your life and business. And then there was a strong selling element about e-courses because, of course, that's Amy's deal. There was more selling than I feel like there often is at a conference, but at the same time, I feel like I personally got so much value from the other two elements of the conference that I didn't mind so much. So what was your experience of that?
Amen. Yep. I mean, it was shocking. We had discussed, I've only been to academic conferences, and to go to this, what's happening? But what I got out of it was so helpful. And hearing Rachel Hollis speak, I mean, that was incredible. Jasmine Starr, Stu McLaren, and I really, really like Gina Gomez too.
Now, I was not there on day 3, so I'm eager to hear your Gina Gomez experience, but we will get to that. So I want to reiterate some of the stuff that we talked about in the previous broadcast about the beginning. That very first session with Amy was all about how the ways that we play small, what it would mean to play a bigger game, and how we can show up and do that. So let's talk about your ways you keep yourself small and your ways that you're going to play a bigger game.
Awesome. Well, it's so funny. I deal, as a cognitive coach, cognitive behavioral interventions, I think a lot about mindset, right? And how we keep ourselves back. And my fears are not around like failing. I'm great at failing. I've practiced it enough. I got this down. My fears are around having an MS flare or doing too much and then getting sick again. So that was really interesting that I've reframed failure or fear for me. And so looking at that and what that looks like in my life, and that can be, so failure looks differently for everybody.
Yeah.
How do we own that? How do we use our power of metacognition to really think about who we are and what that looks like? So I'm not going to listen to that story. I'm not going to buy into that.
Good.
I'm choosing a different narrative. I am a big fan of narrative psychology, so I just could go on and on about that. But what we tell ourselves matters. We know this. So I am going to show up. I'm going to be a bigger deal, a bigger freaking deal. I'm going to write that book, right? It needs to happen. I've started it. I just need to sell it. And it's so funny. We tell ourselves, like, to get a book deal, you need 20,000 Facebook followers. To get this, you need this. Like, it's just this vicious.
When my ducks are in a row, when everything is perfect, when the heavens align.
Right. And, like, there'll be unicorns.
Yeah.
And fairies that appear on my shoulders and everything will be fine. And yet that's not the reality. So
what Amy said is what actually happens is that then there are thunderstorms.
Right? And shit happens. Can I cuss?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay, go big. And so we have to show up. Like, things will get in our way, right? And Rachel Hollis also said that. Like, you're going to climb that mountain. You're climbing. Stuff is going to fall at you, right?
Yes.
And this is all going to happen, and it's going to challenge you and stretch you, and you're going to need a hard enough why to make a difference, to keep going when the going gets tough. So what is your why? What is your why, Christine? Why?
I love that. And it's great because this is a perfect example of perseverance. This is like the 4th time we tried to do this broadcast. It was supposed to be over 10 minutes ago, but we're persevering because this message is important to get out there. Yeah. So what I got out of it was, okay, so my why, or at least I felt like my why remains the same. My why was actually good. My why has always been, I feel like small businesses need to learn how to use social media because it is an incredible I think it can make or break a business. I truly do. I think that using it, being on it can be easy. It can be as hard as you make it. It can work as hard as you want it to. But the fact is, if you don't have something, I feel like that's part of why businesses fail. I want to save small businesses. My how, I was playing extremely small with. I was working exclusively with not only teeny tiny businesses, because I love them. I want to help them. But I was working with businesses that were also thinking small. I was working with businesses that really didn't have, I was getting frustrated that a lot of times I'd work with people and then they wouldn't put what I taught them into practice. And I'd get really frustrated. And I'm realizing you can work with small businesses that themselves are still ready to play a bigger game, that are ready to show up, that are ready to succeed. And I need to work with those people in order to succeed. And I also had this idea that I was a locally based business.
Right. Yes.
I can work with anyone from anywhere, but I have it in my brain that I need to be physically sitting next to them, and I don't.
Yes.
And my bigger game is I'm going to blow this whole thing out. I'm going to have a whole big training academy, sort of, where there's a component that's a self-guided online thing for small business owners that's going to become like ubiquitous among small business owners. They're all going to know the program. But then also separately, I'm going to have this whole worldwide network of people, of strategists and consultants who I've trained in my method so that they can help those people wherever they are. And I was not thinking that big until Thursday morning. Amy Porterfield, I'm mad at you.
How dare she, right?
I was just there to learn how to launch my e-course. I didn't plan on building an empire that's going to take me years.
Right? All the hard work, all the hard things.
Yes, but as Amy said, as Rachel Hollis said, besides telling us that we need to wash our faces,
and stop apologizing.
Yes, but the hard work, that discomfort, is the price of admission to a life that is not mediocre.
Right. Amen, sister.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I love that. So the mindset stuff is great. What tactics did you get? Because your business looks very different from my business. What tactics and techniques are you going to be able to embrace that you learned there?
I really liked their idea of a list builder's push, 7 to 14 days, 2 to 3 times a year. And that's all you focus on.
Yeah.
You show up in Facebook Lives every day. You choose between a challenge, a quiz, a mini course, and really just showing up. So she said, when you neglect your list, you're playing small, right? And so how do we continue? And that was something that I was like, this is actionable. I can do this. It's not overwhelming. We can do this, right?
Yes, and I also loved how she talked about being unafraid to get scrappy with it, to make those asks, because I had gotten to a point, I briefly did a period where I was starting to individually message people who I'd added on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'd love you to join my list. And then I felt tacky. And I need to get over that, because she pointed out Marie, and I've been pronouncing, I keep saying Marie Forleo of B School fame, who I have now given thousands of dollars to. She apparently, she was a bartender. She was a choreographer and a fitness teacher and a bartender. And she would be talking to people while she was bartending. She'd say, here's this business idea I'm really excited about. Here's what I'm going to do. And if they showed the slightest bit of interest, even if they were just being polite and like, oh, that sounds nice, she'd slam her notebook on the table and say, join my mailing list.
I love that.
We need some of that moxie.
We got these books, and I've finished it. I finished it on the airplane. I mean,
everything is figure outable?
Yes.
Yes.
She truly embodies that. Like, I will work hard. I will do all the things necessary to make sure that my goals, my dreams come true. And that means, she was cleaning toilets. She was doing everything just to make. She also talks about her failures in a way that I appreciate. Her first workshop, she had 5 people come. 2 of them were her parents, a friend, and 2 people off the street. Like, she means it. When she says hustle and work hard and be scrappy, she means it.
Yeah, and she was also talking about Sarah Blakely, how the founder of Spanx, who's like one of the richest women to ever exist on a self-made level, packing things in her. Well, she started by literally cutting the feet off pantyhose.
What? It's genius.
Then she would literally just go to the lingerie department of a department store, set up her little mini shop, and just be there for days. Just like, yep, I'm just here. Just buy my stuff. It's here.
Without invitation, right?
Yeah. You just do it. That's got to be illegal.
Right. I feel like we would get, someone would say something.
Moxie. Scrappy, got to do it. And I have to say, the biggest thing that I knew already, but as you know, you're a cognitive coach. You know full well that knowing something and actioning it are miles apart. That's why you have a job. That's why I have a job.
But that's the truth. And like when we intellectually know something and want, but it's so difficult to actually do the hard things because it requires so much of us that we're not willing to put ourselves out there. It's fear-based, it's overwhelming. And so how do we show up? How do we do the things that we need to do to get the job done that sometimes are challenging, that aren't sexy, that aren't fun? How do you show up every day? And consistency is key. We know this. And we know when we're trying to rewire our brain, we have to do it over in repetition.
Yes.
This is neural pathways. We just got to keep doing it.
And it's interesting because you mentioned the consistency thing. I tend to bristle when I hear that, and it's entirely my own issue. I bristle when I hear everyone say consistency is key. You got to keep showing up, because on the one side of my brain, I say, but I've been showing up. I've been doing Facebook Lives since they were in beta in 2015. I've been, giving workshops locally that people don't show up to. I've been doing these things. I've been showing up for years, and it's not getting me anywhere. And I'm realizing the side of my brain that I need to action is saying, first of all, it's only been a few years.
Right.
I mean, no one said once you reach X number of live broadcasts, and sometimes they get screwed up like this one did today, you automatically get, the golden key. No, you don't.
Yes.
Second of all, maybe I'm showing up in the wrong places. Maybe I'm doing the wrong things. Look at how you're showing up. Look at who you're showing up for. If you're showing up for yourself, that doesn't count. I mean, it does, but in other ways.
Right. It does.
But then the third part is, am I really showing up? I look at those course launches that failed for me. I've tried to launch e-courses. People noticed my marketing. They're like, that's really great that you're doing that. I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. Nobody bought them.
Oh, yes.
And here's the thing. I know now it's because I wasn't really showing up in the ways that you need to show up. Now that I have this plan from Amy and from Stu, and I know what you're supposed to do in order to lay the groundwork for that and make people want it before you announce that you have it. Now I get it. And now I fully do believe that since I have this laid out, and here's the BS part. I say I showed up. I say I tried to launch a course. Before I even developed a course, I saw Amy speak at Social Media Marketing World 2017. She gave us a physical sheet of paper that laid out what we needed to do in advance of a course launch. Did I use it?
No, but our brains are miraculous. They can trick us into thinking like, I got this, or like, I don't need that, or what does she know, or all the things. Our brains are.
I tried. I worked out once and had a green smoothie. Why am I not skinny? I mean, that's me.
This is me too. And I think we get so much in our brains that we are hustling. But what thoughts fuel that hustle? Are they thoughts of empowerment? Or are they thoughts of like, I'm just going to do this and, or defeat almost before we even get started?
Are you trying to build it and hope that they will come? Because no, they won't.
With a hope and a prayer.
See where the people are and build there.
You're right. Exactly. But that's it. I think I also love that the idea of give them what they want, but also give them what they really need. And that's sometimes hard for me because I want to say, no, you need this. I know you need this. I get the brain. You just need this. But really, they want something else. And I can't force the issue. I can't force that. So finding the balance between the two was really a great cognitive exercise for me as it relates to my business.
It really is. It was fascinating. Another thing that I really liked is we got so many specifics. So first of all, I like the fact that when Amy was talking about launch bonuses and Stu was talking about things you do in your pre-launch runway, they were specific. She's like, she gave examples. She said, okay, so I gave this quiz, right? But it wasn't a nonsense quiz just for fun. When they finished the quiz, yes, I asked for their email address before they got their responses. So it was a list builder. But she's like, but then I gave them information. I gave them a download, or I gave them some sort of something. And I loved that. It's like, no, this isn't just a little silly BS thing to build your list. You need to give value. You need to always be giving value. And it can be terrifying to give away value for free. But she made it seem like why it makes sense. She's like, because as I liked this, Rachel Hollis said, anything you could ever possibly want to know is available on the internet for free. Amy said, yeah, I hate it when she says that. But the fact is what people are paying you for is the roadmap.
That is the truth. Yes.
And that really clarifies why you can get ahead by giving information away for free. Because the fact is you're giving them information. They maybe don't know how to use that yet. They maybe don't know where that fits into the total puzzle. And you know what? Yes, you're losing people along the way. A funnel looks like this. Like, not everyone needs to hire you. But the fact is, even if they don't need you, if they've gotten something of value from you, they may recommend you to someone who needs you.
Yes.
You do not lose anything in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
By helping.
Amen. That is the truth. And that was a clear takeaway because we walked away from each session, from each speaker with actionable items of what we could do to change, to grow, to develop our businesses and ourselves. And I think that was truly remarkable, is that they were putting their energy, their presence into pouring into others. And it was beautiful in the sense that they were there. They were willing to help and show up. And it was just it was just empowering for everyone there, I think.
It was really, really nice. Now, I unfortunately was only there for 2 of the 3 days. Yeah. And I'm really grateful that I still felt like it was worth schlepping across the country for 2 days because I got a lot out of it. But I wasn't there for the 3rd day. So tell me about Gina. Tell me about that speaker.
So Gina talked about the keys to selling with integrity. And I found...
Do you have her name handy and her business name handy? I can look it up.
Gina Gomez, but I don't... She has a PR agency. They call her the Olivia Pope of the PR world.
Nice.
She is like the real life Olivia Pope.
Mm-hmm.
She was engaging, but real and intelligent and just all the things that you would want in someone who does PR and to help you navigate things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she had, I think, I have 1, 2... she had some key takeaways. I can share them with you really quickly.
Yeah.
I sadly have to go at noon.
I know, I have to go too.
Do you want me to quickly go through
Yes,
this?
please do.
Okay. So number 1 is to treat everyone like their business matters. So you do not think, oh, well, they only have 200 Instagram followers. They don't, what do they know? Like people do that. We see the positioning. You treat everyone as if they matter and connect with people, connect. She was talking about knowing patterns of connection, knowing people, how to interact. And she was also talking about building real relationships. And then another area that she wanted to build upon was be a pro. So show up, be a professional, follow through, act like you know what you're doing, and have the work to go behind it. Her next area was make it easy for them to say yes.
Love
Give them
that.
all the information they need up front so they feel smart and empowered. Give them value. Make it easier for them to make that say yes. She also said treat everyone as if they're your favorite client.
I heard that, and I heard treat everyone like they're your dream client, like it's an honor to work with them.
Yes, and it was really interesting. Someone then went into B school and said, I met someone at Entrepreneur Experience and said, oh, guess what? I'm going to go to your retreat or conference, or I don't remember the logistics or the specifics. And that person was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so how do
I've met people like that.
I have too. And I have so much enthusiasm. I could, I overwhelm people. So I always think it's me and not the other person, but really it's the other person. Right?
They're not your people.
They are not.
People who don't think that your enthusiasm is amazing and magical are not your people.
Exactly. Well, and she was very clear, like you have to choose. We have choices in this world. Mm-hmm. We have to choose goodness and gratitude and treating people well. Yes. There are common mistakes when it comes to selling. 1 is taking things personally. 2 is blaming the client.
Yes.
3 is too tired to sell because you put all your energy into creating. Amen. This is like all me. 4 is unclear boundaries, which creates space for assumptions. And she did a great boundary setting exercise. Like in the beginning, she was like, okay, we're going to do this. And I want you to know that I'm an authority. I've done this so many times. I want you to listen. So she created great boundaries of what we would do and wouldn't do in the talk. Mm-hmm. And then 5 is lack of consistency or follow through on your part. So it was really interesting. She talked about common objective, which are money, third party, lack of trust, prior experience. They took the course before and never did anything with it, which is what I always kind of even. And really listening to people. When you have a sales conversation, you listen, and you listen some more, and really make it about them and not about you make it about their transition and the solution you're selling. I'm adding a little bit of my own into but
that's great. And into that's what you have to do. That's how you have to internalize it and process it and make it a part of what you're doing.
That's it. So how do we show up for our clients now and our future clients?
I love that. Okay, so several people actually did share their notes from her session, so I know now that she was speaking to me. So I need to look those up.
We're going to do this.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I loved this. I kind of want to do it again because we barely got to scratch the surface because of all the technical delays.
Look, you tell me, I will be there with bells on, sweet.
You are awesome, and we're of course going to keep talking. We were in touch already, but now we're really going to be in more active touch. And this was life-changing and fabulous. And thank you so much for hanging in during all these technical delays.
Thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to speaking with you again.
And thanks for everyone who watched. And I'm Christine Gritman. I do the show every Friday at noon. Tune in next week for another special guest and hopefully no technical difficulties. Bye.
Thank you.